You're watching NFL Daily. I am Will Scott, and on today's show, we're taking a look at the top 20 free agents still available after the NFL draft. And you're going to start to see this free agency thing kind of come back. Players getting signed, maybe teams reaching out because maybe teams did not fill the holes they wanted to fill in the draft. They're going back to free agency to do that. Who do you want your team to sign? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. A couple Bears fans in our live chat here saying Yannick Ngakoue. That's very possible. Spoiler alert. He's very high on our top 20 list here as we begin with number 20. It is Jarvis Landry, who spent this past season back home in New Orleans. Think it's possible he returns to the Saints. He's still looking for a home in free agency. He's had a great career. I hope he gets a shot to go somewhere this next season. Melvin Ingram, the edge rusher from the Miami Dolphins. I do not expect him back in Miami, but he was productive his lone season in Miami after coming over from Kansas City. I think he will find a home here pretty soon. Adrian Amos, the safety from the Packers, one of the best safeties available. And then another defensive back, Ronald Darby, the cornerback from the Denver Broncos, coming in at number 17 on our list here. And then Shaquill Griffin, the cornerback from the Jaguars. They waived him a couple weeks ago. I thought he was going to find a home pretty quickly. Surprisingly, he is still looking to sign somewhere. So those are our first five we're discussing on today's show. A wide receiver, an edge, a safety, and a couple of defensive backs in Darby and Griffin. Share this video, and if you do that and follow me on Twitter, you will get a retweet in the first 10 shares, get a follow back. So here's what you do. Click the share button, select the Twitter icon, click post to Twitter, tag me at WillScott44 for a retweet. The first 10 shares will get a follow back. We'd appreciate you sharing this video. Help spread the word about our channel. Kareem Hunt coming in at number 15 here. And, he's someone that a lot of us thought were going to get traded during the NFL trade deadline. He did not. He was linked to the Dolphins. He was linked to the Bills. He was linked to the Broncos. He stayed in Cleveland, where he put up these numbers this past season. Numbers were a little bit down from previous years. 468 yards, 210 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns for Kareem Hunt in 2022. It'll be interesting to see where he lands because a lot of teams already feel good about some of the holes they filled at running back this offseason. Isaiah Wynn from the Patriots. Next up on our list here, the Patriots offensive tackle. He's probably a top 3, top 4 offensive tackle still available in NFL free agency. Spent the first several seasons of his career with New England, the 2018 first-round pick out of Georgia. Left tackle his first 3 seasons, but spent more time at right tackle in 2022. One of the best offensive tackles still out there and available. Interesting name here, Ezekiel Elliott, the running back that was formerly with the Dallas Cowboys. Could he be going back to Dallas? Jerry Jones was asked about it. We'll get to what he said here in a second, but taking a look at what Zeke said, what Zeke did in his last 4 seasons, obviously the numbers went down a little bit, but he was still productive, 12 touchdowns in 2022. Jerry Jones was asked post-draft, saying the ship has not sailed on the possibility of bringing Ezekiel Elliott back to the Cowboys. I think he'd have to be it would have to be a team-friendly deal. I think he'd have to be open to being maybe an RB3. We'll see what happens, but when Jerry Jones says don't rule it out, that makes me think that it's extremely possible that Zeke is back in Dallas. Where will Ezekiel Elliott land? Go down in the comments section. Predict it. I'm going to say the Dallas Cowboys. I know they drafted Deuce Vaughn, and I'm super high on Deuce Vaughn. I think Deuce Vaughn's going to be really good. But maybe Zeke will be back as RB3. Ben Jones, the best center still available in free agency. He has some injury issues. The concussions are a concern. But like I said, I think he's the best center still available in free agency. So if your team needs a center, I think Ben Jones is your guy. Also, if your team needs a right tackle, that guy could be Donovan Smith from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So you got Isaiah Wynn and Donovan Smith here on my top 20 list. Speaking of offensive tackles, Taylor Lewan comes in at number 10 on my list. The Titans let him go a couple weeks ago, spent the first 9 seasons of his career in Tennessee, made 2 All-Pro teams, 3 Pro Bowls. Injuries also a concern with him. It's interesting. He did say the Dolphins called him. He's never played right tackle. Obviously, Teron Armstead's the left tackle in Miami. I do believe Lewan will find a home, but the podcast stuff's going really well for him. Some people speculating that retirement is possible as well. Jadeveon Clowney, the edge rusher from the Browns, I can just about promise you he's not going to be back in Cleveland because of the comments he made at the end of his Browns tenure. Taking a look at what he did this past season in Cleveland, the numbers were certainly down. 2 sacks, 28 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3 pass breakups. I still think he is going to find a home here, though, in NFL free agency. And then Cam Fleming, the offensive tackle from the Denver Broncos. Really like Fleming, in my opinion, the best offensive tackle still available in NFL free agency. Taking a look at the PFF grades from last year, a 72.6 grade, 67.8 run blocking grade, a 74.1 pass blocking grade. He visited the Dolphins last week. No signing imminent there. If you need an offensive tackle, I think Cam Fleming should be your guy. I think he'd be a great right tackle for any team that needs one. And then Marcus Peters, the cornerback from the Baltimore Ravens. He remains available. Yeah, he's out of his prime. The injuries are a concern. He missed the entire 2021 season, but I still think he can be a productive player on a defense in the National Football League. As well as Poona Ford, the defensive tackle from the Seattle Seahawks. Probably the best defensive tackle still available in free agency. Taking a look at the numbers here. 35 tackles this past season, 3 sacks. He has 7 sacks the last 3 seasons. If you need defensive line depth, and especially depth at defensive tackle, I think you should give Poona Ford a call. Help us get Chat Sports to 334,000 subscribers, almost there. Need under 500 more. Let's get there in the next week or two. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're not just bringing you NFL content, also have a lot of NBA watch parties going on right now during the NBA playoffs. Really like Rock Ya-Sin, the corner from Vegas, came over from Indy, did a good job in that Vegas defense last year. In my opinion, at least the best corner still left in free agency. Frank Clark, a huge name, still out there and available in NFL free agency. The edge rusher who spent the last several seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs. Taking a look at the last couple seasons for Clark, he is still a good player. He's aged well. 15 games this past season, 5 sacks, 39 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 1 pass breakup. That comes after 4.5 sacks, 22 tackles the previous year. So the numbers got even better in 2022 for Clark. Dalton Risner, probably the best guard still available in free agency, could play left guard. I'm sure he's open to playing right guard as well. Spent this past season with the Denver Broncos. So Cam Fleming and Dalton Risner, 2 guys that started on the Broncos offensive line, coming in the top 10 here for best free agents available after the draft. And then Leonard Floyd, the edge rusher from the Los Angeles Rams. Really, really good player in Floyd. But the best free agent that is still available is Yannick Ngakoue, who spent this past season with the Colts. I believe he could be bound for the Bears. He has been so good the last several seasons. You look at the numbers, no fewer than 8 sacks the last 4 years, 9.5 sacks this past year with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm sure he wants to go to a winner, but I think he's going to take whoever gives him the most money, quite frankly, and you cannot blame him for that. Who is the best free agent still available? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. I'm saying Ngakoue, but let me know what you think.